every one of us needs a piece of advice sometimes, right? Fair enough, but how we can be sure that is correct and will help us complete our plans? The reality is that we cannot be sure until we try it. Alright guys, I hope that you had a successful week and everything is alright with you. I was a little bit sick, nothing serious, but... Oh, Richard, hello man, nice to see you again. As I said, I was a little bit sick, nothing serious, but I've got some kind of virus just to keep me a little uncomfortable situation. Nothing serious, no fever, nothing like this, just a little bit more coughing and all gone now, all good. I'm ready for the next week or whatever it will bring. Okay. Okay. Every next time is going to be easy, man. Every time when I start the stream, I upload links in all channels and also Patreon page. So you just need to follow this link and you will find the stream. I don't know why you have problems with it. But anyway, you're here now. You made it this time. Good. I guess that I need to explain it better. Yeah. Well, guys, I never been sick in the last 25 years. 25 years without any fever. So now I was sick, but again, it was just a uncomfortable situation. Not really sick, not really lie on the bed. It was just annoying, some nose problems, some coughings, and that was all. So not really sick as the way you mean it, lie at home or stuff like that. But it looks like a lot of people around me also got this virus, and some of them were really in bad condition. So it is what it is. Anyway, I'm alright now. Look forward to the stream, guys. Look forward to the stream. I have some topics to cover here on the left side about 5 bad motorcycle travel advice. Oh, you test the new V-Strom 800. I also heard that it's a heavy beast, something like 230-40 kilograms. But it's good to know that at least the engine is very good. I would like to know more about it, Richard, and honestly, we don't have this option here to test it in Bulgaria. I'm waiting for someone to buy it and then to share his experience. But when it's gonna happen, no idea. But it's good to know, yeah. I don't really like the design of these Suzukis. They look terrible in my opinion. This front headlight is just very ugly, at least to me. But some people love it, so you never know. Oh, Christoph, you're in Dubai. Whoa, lucky you. You escaped in the hot areas. Lucky you. And we are here struggling. It's around 0 degrees today here in Varna. Okay. So guys, let me start with everything that I have planned, and we're gonna discuss it just for probably around 30 minutes, and then we're gonna have, as usual, Q&A section. If you have any questions or if you want to add something on the topic, please do it so. You know, everything that we discuss here will be helpful for everyone who is going to watch this stream after that. The topic that I'm going to discuss today is going to be 5 bad motorcycle travel advice. The actually advice could be many more, endless or countless. I will focus just on 5 advice that I have heard during my years, and I think that they might be also very detrimental, so it's worth to be discussed. Yes, business trip, Arab exhibition, very okay, lucky you. Enjoy your time, Christoph, enjoy your time. Alright, so every one of us needs a piece of advice sometimes, right? Fair enough, but how we can be sure that is correct and will help us complete our plans? The reality is that we cannot be sure until we try it. But What about if you don't have enough time to make these try and errors? What about if you only have 2 or 3 weeks holiday per year and you decided to follow someone's advice and in the middle of the trip you realize that this advice is completely wrong? Well, there is nothing we can do about it. That's why it's very important to test everything in advance. Every advice or every change or every modification that you can make on your motorcycle need to be tested in advance, just to know will it work or it will be just waste of money or resources or time or energy, whatever. So do you really have time to test everything? Because the time for each and every one of us is just limited. And you have to know that what works for one does not make it automatically universal for everyone. So if I give you advice now, that is the best option will be to ride Yamaha Tenere on your trips. I might believe in this seriously, and I do believe in this, but you might be you might be a different type of person. You might be short person, so this Tenere is going to be too tall for you. You might be with a different riding skill, so this Tenere might be overkill for you. Or you might be a sport rider and this Tenere to be too slow for you. So my advice, the advice that I believe is very good because it works perfect for me, might not work for you at all. That's why you don't need to listen to people like that. You need to find your way or your best option for any situation. So let me tell you the first advice that I have heard from many people. Even a friend of mine recently bought a motorcycle because of this advice. The advice is that BMW GS is the ultimate machine for traveling. And many people believe that I am some kind of GS hater. No, I am not. BMW are wonderful motorcycles, but they're just not for me. And let me tell you about again about this friend of mine who just bought a new motorcycle. He was listening people here and there, reading comments here and there, and he came to the conclusion that BMW GS is the best motorcycle travel ever exist. And he decided to go and buy the last model that he could afford at that moment. It was GS 1250. Now we have 1300, but he bought 1250 with all the gear, all the features that he can put on the top, because he strongly believed that this is the best option if you want to travel. There is nothing else. Just BMW GS 1250. If you don't have it, you cannot travel. This is the top of the top. And as I said, I'm not saying that this is a bad motorcycle or you cannot travel with it, but it is definitely not the best. All of this mania start with Ian McGregor and Charlie Borman and the Long Way Around series many years ago, when they decided to go around the globe with these motorcycles. And they actually went there with a BMW GS 1150. But it doesn't mean that you cannot travel with anything else, or this is the best motorcycle. So what most people didn't know is that, yes, Charlie Borman and Ian McGregor, they did it with these BMWs, but they did it with a lot of money and a huge team. And when you don't have this possibility, when you don't have enough money, or when you don't have a team to help you with everything, you can quickly realize that BMW is not the best option to travel. First, because it is very expensive to buy it, very expensive to maintain it, very expensive to ride it. And all of this, when you accumulate all of this, it will make your trips even more difficult. And they say that it is the most reliable machine, but well, I can argue on this. So let me tell you some of the arguments that people got when they point this GS BMW for the best travel machines. First, the old models, GS 1200 and 1150, because they are air-cooled, they are simple, they are reliable and affordable. You can load a lot of luggage and you can have a drive shaft, so you don't need to worry about chain. These are the arguments that people point out when they decided that the GS 1250 or 1150 are the best options if you decided to travel. Air-cooled, it's easy to overheat, my opinion. Especially if you ride in the traffic during technical rides or sand, mud and many more. Simple, the only simple thing that you can find on this motorcycle is how to change the spark plugs and adjust the valves. That's it, because of the position of cylinder heads, the access to the spark plugs and the valves is easy. This is the only simple thing in this motorcycle. Other things like, for example, to change the clutch will require to strip the whole engine, remove it from the chassis, or split it on two pieces just to change the clutch. And also, all of these motorcycles, they've got a dry clutch, and dry clutch is very easy to burn, especially on the technical terrains. Reliable, like any brand and model, they have their issues, and many people can point you all of the issues of these old models. So there is nothing like this that they're super bikes or super reliable. Drive shaft is a great option until it is not, because you can fix a broken chain by just replace it, or change the specific link or with master link or something, and you're ready to go. But if you break your drive shaft, you're done. You stop whatever you are, and you need spare parts and a person to fix it. You can carry a lot of luggage. In my opinion, this is a minus. So this is just a few minutes time to show you that you can easily point one motorcycle as the best on the world, and person like me will debunk this for just a few minutes, because this might be the best motorcycle for you, but it is not best motorcycle for me. That's why this advice that this or that motorcycle is the best travel machine is always wrong. I cannot tell you that the Tenere is the best travel machine, because it will be wrong to someone else. So don't listen to this advice. BMW or whatever motorcycle, there is no such a thing like the best travel or the best adventure motorcycle, because it is different for everyone. And as I said many times, I'm going to tell you again, the best adventure motorcycle is the one that you have in your luggage. The second bad advice that I have heard many times is that you need a lot of adventure modifications before you even start traveling. You need bigger petrol tank, different exhaust, crash guards, high fender, and many more. The reality is that none of this is a must. None of this is a must. You can travel with whatever motorcycle you have in its stock condition. You can travel with only big petrol tank or without petrol tank. You can travel with a new exhaust or without a new exhaust. So you can travel with anything that you have. Once again, the best travel or adventure motorcycle is the one that you have in the garage. None of these modifications is necessary. Everything you do on your motorcycle only needs to go there or need to be replaced or changed with some specific reasons. For example, on my Tenere, I have done not so many, but I have some modifications, and each one of the modifications is made with a specific idea to help me travel easy, or to help me during my trips, I'll say. For example, I have heated grips because they will help me in the cold days. I have a different exhaust because it will prevent damaging the exhaust if I drop the motorcycle. I have a bash plate because it will help me to protect the engine of the motorcycle, and stuff like that. Simple things. I have a levers guards, I have hand guards that will protect my clutch and brake lever. And I need this stuff, that's why I have it on the motorcycle. And also, all of the stuff that I just listed, I had it for many years on many other motorcycles. I know that they are necessary, I know that they work, I know that how much they cost and what they can provide in exchange of their price, if I can say it this way. So none of these modifications is absolutely must. They are only there to help me complete my trips easy. So number 3 bad advice that I have heard many times is someone to tell you what is best to have, hard or soft luggage. It's again like the best adventure motorcycle. Now at the moment I use soft luggage on my trips. But I cannot tell you that the best option for you to travel is soft luggage. I can tell you only my point of view. I can tell you that is the best option for me, because I don't have much luggage. I usually include some dirt roads on my trips, and I prefer to be as light as possible. But you might be completely different. You might travel with your wife, or your spouse, or your friend, whatever. So you might like to have a little bit more stuff. You might have expensive camera gear or whatever gear you have. You might decide to travel with 50 kilograms. I travel with 15. You may decide to travel with 50 kilograms. And if you have 50 kilograms, I can tell you right now, you cannot put it in a soft luggage. It is just impossible. Because your bags or your saddle bags are not going to hold that much weight. I'm not saying that to have 50 kilograms is right, but this is just impossible with soft luggage. That's why this advice, hard luggage or soft luggage, it's always wrong, and don't listen to anyone that make any kind of recommendations. Or maybe recommendation is fine, but not a strong conclusion. Soft luggage and nothing more. This is a good advice, as I said, if you're someone like me. But once again, if you travel with your wife, if you plan to stay only on the asphalt roads, if you have a heavy motorcycle, and if you carry a lot of gear with you, you have no option for soft luggage. You definitely need to go to hard panniers and maybe top box as well. So, but this advice will be always but. It doesn't matter if it's going to be hard or soft, it will be always but advice. It depends on many things. Will you travel alone or with a passenger? What roads do you prefer to ride to? How much luggage do you carry with you? And many, many more. So don't listen to anyone that make any kind of advice on this topic. The next bad advice that I have heard many times is to buy tires that last longer. And this is such a terrible advice. Christoph. Yeah, Christoph, sorry, I saw this right now. Yeah. Ian McGregor and Charlie Borman, they wanted to go with KTM first, but KTM did not let them to ride their motorcycles. So that's why they went to BMW. Anyway, buy tires that last longer. So what do you prefer? Longevity of your tires or your personal safety? Tires are the only thing that keep your motorcycle straight on the road. If the tires wear faster, that is mean that they did their job. They hold your motorcycle on the ground. If the tires last many kilometers, that is mean that they have more plastic in their compound instead of rubber, and that's why they last longer. Which is mean that on the hot days, when it's really hot over 30 degrees, these so-called plastic tires, they will last, they will hold all right. But in the little cold days or wet days, they're not gonna stick that well to the ground. So the better the tires hold, the faster they will wear. If you check the guys from MotoGP, on each one of the competitions, they spend like 2-3 sets of tires, because they have this very soft compound that is slicks that stick to the ground, and they provide maximum traction. So to buy a tires that last longer, it's a good temptation to many people. They'll say, okay, and if I can spend now 300 euros for tires and they last the whole trip, 25,000 kilometers, will be fantastic. Yes, it will be fantastic, but it will be compromise. Compromise with your safety. Because when the tires are nice, quality, good rubber that provide a lot of traction, they usually last not so many kilometers. Now, for example, on my trip to Magadan, I use 3 sets of tires. 3 sets of tires. I can easily find one set of tire that will last the whole journey, even though I doubt, because the whole journey was 39,000 kilometers. But let's say I can do it with 2 sets of tires, 15,000 each one. But there will be a different type of tires that won't provide the traction that I need. And also, the heavier your motorcycle is, the better traction you need. Also, if you have a lack of some skills, you can compensate if you have a good traction. For example, if you don't have very good dirt road riding skills, you can compensate if you have a better, more aggressive dirt road tires. But these aggressive dirt road tires will be fantastic on the dirt roads, but once you get into the asphalt road, they will finish very quick. My friend and mechanic Plamen, for example, finished front tire, dirt bike tire. He mounted on his Tenere and finished it in Georgia for 20 kilometers. For 20 kilometers, he finished one tire. That quick. Because he was riding very fast, nice asphalt road, curvy roads, and for 20 kilometers, he finished one tire. So it is easy, basically for a couple of kilometers to finish the tires that you have. But you cannot make compromises with it because, as I said in the beginning, tires are what keeps your motorcycle on the road, and you have to make a very good conclusion what tire you need, where, for how long, and so on and so on. The best option that I always do and will recommend to you, if you have a long trip, if you know that you're gonna have like 10,000 kilometers on the asphalt and then you're gonna have a 2,000 kilometers on the dirt roads, I'll advise to have one set of tires to the asphalt roads, and just before go to the dirt, change the tires with something more aggressive before the dirt and use it again. Don't rely on the asphalt roads to keep you straight on the dirt road, or the dirt roads tires to keep you all the time on the asphalt roads. Any tire is compromise, and that's why I always say that don't try to save money on tires, because this might cost you a lot. Anyway, and the last bad advice that I have heard, and it was given to me even many times, is that to choose speed over reliability. Reliability. This word is difficult for me to remember. It's not reliability, it's reliability. Okay. What I mean by that, people usually choose their motorcycles with their hearts. And they said, oh, with their hearts. And they said, man, I would like this motorcycle because it has 100 horsepower, or 120, or 160, even more. But me, I'm different. When I choose my motorcycle, the first thing that I would like to see from this motorcycle is reliability. I don't mind about the horsepower. I don't mind about all the features that it has. I don't mind about the top speed or cruise speed or whatever speed it can ride if it hasn't got any reliability. For many years I was riding sport bikes when I was young. Then I switched to different bikes. But in the last 15 years I'm riding very normal, simple bikes like my old Tenere and now the new Tenere. The old Tenere was 48 horsepower. It was more than enough to me. Okay, sometimes I miss some power here and there, but number one priority always been reliability. Now with the new Tenere, 72 horsepower, it is way beyond most of the adventure bikes that you can find on the market at the moment, but it has one very powerful feature, reliability. The video that I'm gonna upload tomorrow on my channel, on the main channel, is going to be about the maintenance that I have done on my Tenere on 70,000 kilometers. If you have time, watch it, and I can tell you right now that even though I know how reliable this machine is, even I was surprised to see how little maintenance I have done after 70,000 kilometers. So this machine is actually bulletproof, because I will always put reliability over speed or horsepower or whatever you want to name it. That's it, guys. I'm not gonna discuss anything more. This 5 bad advice. Now I'm gonna discuss anything else with you guys. If you have any questions, if you want to add any more on this topic, please do it so. I'll be glad to read it, to discuss it with you, or if you have questions, to answer to your questions. Tenere, Richard, the worst advice was don't go there. It is dangerous from people that have never been there. Yeah, I've heard this so many times. Don't go there. It is very dangerous. How the hell you know it's dangerous if you've never been there? Because some people love these social networks. They consume a lot of stuff, or others are addicted to the news and they watch this bad news everywhere around the world, and they believe that the world is such a dangerous place, and if you go here or there, someone will kill you, kidnap you, steal your motorcycle, take your luggage or whatever. It's absolutely bad advice. Don't go there. It's dangerous. And when I decided to go to Pakistan many years ago, so many people rang me and said, please don't go there. It's very dangerous country. You don't know what it is. Friend of mine even called me and met me and said, listen, don't go there. It's a very dangerous country. And I asked him, have you been ever in Pakistan? No, but I know it's dangerous country. Oh man, forget about it. Ilkut. This summer I plan to go to Georgia. Which tires do you suggest? Ilkut, what kind of roads in Georgia you plan? If you plan to stay on the asphalt roads, it's one story. If you plan to go into the mountains and have some kind of dirt roads, it's a different story. I've been to Georgia, and I have a friends that been there a few times, and also been there this summer. We discuss a lot of things with them. Off-road plus asphalt, 50-50. So, Ilkut, I'll say the following. You're not far away from Turkey, and I'll say just choose the maximum aggressive tires as possible. As a minimum, something like TKC 80 for your motorcycle. You have a heavy motorcycle, and without a proper, I'll say even more aggressive than 50-50, you'll have a good traction. Without it, you might have a problems, especially if you plan to go to some high elevation passes, 2,500 meters with a lot of mud, possible rain. Depends on that what time of the year you'll go. You'll probably face a lot of rain. So buy as aggressive as possible tires, or maybe the best option will be to start with a set of normal road tires and change it with some kind of 50-50 is just too little. You need something like 80-20, 80 off-road, 20 dirt road for your motorcycle because it is heavy. Ogi, I had the advice when I first moving to Bulgaria. I rode a motorcycle from England to here, never any problems. Yeah, many people are afraid to ride in Bulgaria, but in fact it's very safe country. Christoph, reliability, over horsepower, speed, color display, riding modes, and all other fancy shit. Yeah, absolutely. If you have mud, Ilkut, yeah, definitely go to aggressive dirt road tires. The better tires you have, or the better traction you have on your motorcycle, it will help you if you don't have a proper dirt road riding skills. Or the better tires will compromise some of the skills that you might not have. So go for better tires. Richard, don't go alone. Nonsense. People are more likely to speak when I'm alone and this enjoy this why I ride. Yeah, absolutely. This is another advice that I have heard many times. Don't ride alone. It is dangerous. No, I also believe that it is way more safe to travel alone than in a group. Because when you ride in a group, you always need to make some compromises with your riding style. It doesn't matter. It might be to ride faster or to ride slower or to take more risk to catch the people here and there, but you always take more risks. That's why I also believe that it is safe to travel alone, because when you travel alone, you ride with the speed that you need, with the pace that you need. You going into the corners and going out of the corners the way you want it, because you know that there is no one behind you to watching you, or you don't need to follow anyone. So no doubts about it. I also think exactly the same like you, Richard, that if you travel alone, it will be safe. Christoph, right. When alone, people talk to you, and also in a group, people think that you're closest group. And yeah, absolutely. This is another one story that if you're alone, you always find nice people around you. They will help you. They will like to talk with you. They will like to share their stories. They will like to listen your stories, and absolutely, I have a lot of wonderful stories on this topic, but it will be probably for another stream. Yeah, another bad advice, thank you very much for adding this, Richard, is don't have a plan, just see what happens. This invites disaster, in my opinion. If I'm prepared, I'm relaxed. Absolutely. As I said so many times on my videos and on these streams as well, preparation is the key to success. Traveling without plan, it's an absolutely nonsense, and it's a recipe for disaster. Ilkut, in a group you must stop each time anyone wants to pee. Absolutely. Or to take a cigarette, or to eat, or whatever. It's like kindergarten. Oh, I want this, I want that, I want cigarette now, I want to smoke, I want coffee, I want to eat. Man, it's just too much. I don't know how people do it, honestly. For the last, I don't know how many years I travel alone, and if I have to travel with someone, it's like torture to me. Now, because I edit my videos from Magadan, and I can see how I was traveling every single day. And because for the few days, maybe a week, I travel with a Russian guy that I met on the last 2,000 kilometers before Magadan, and we traveled together, and he was a wonderful guy. I have no problems with him, but even so, it was some kind of burden to me. So I always need to look for him in the mirrors, to follow his tempo, or to slow down or stop and wait for him. So it was all pain in the ass, even though he was a wonderful guy. What about if they are 5 or 10 and you have some assholes as usual? Three people maximum. Yeah, I will say 3 people could be good number, also bad number. I don't know. I traveled once with 7 people and it was wonderful, but we were together for a week. I don't know what will be for 2 weeks, 3 weeks or more. I spent a lot of months with one person, we were fine, but finally I feel best when I'm alone. But that's me. And some people ask me, are you not lonely? No, I'm not lonely. When I travel alone, I'm just thinking my stuff, and I feel good actually. And later in the evening when I stop, I have more than enough time to call home, to organize all of my things, to upload some videos on YouTube, and to relax properly. If you have many people around you, you cannot really relax. You always need to talk with someone. It's just different. That's why I'm saying now when I edit my videos, I can see again now, because I just came to the point when we traveled together from Yakutsk to Magadan with this Russian guy, and I can see now on my videos some things I even forgot already, that I have to stop every 10 or 15 minutes to wait for him. On some stage we left a ferry, and it was like later in the evening, and because I need to stop and wait for him, the whole traffic came to us, and so we need to ride another like 1 hour in the dust because I was waiting for him. If I was just alone, I will just ride fast and go in front of the traffic. But when all of this traffic, all of buses and cars overtake us, man, it was disaster. We ate a lot of dust. It's not because he's a bad person. It's just because he slowed down not on the right moment. Christoph, I like to talk to locals in the evening, in the hotel, campground. Yeah, absolutely. I also love that. I also try to communicate as maximum as possible with local people, to learn about their stories, to learn about the local attractions or anything from locals. That's why I travel, to meet different things. If I have to travel with the same people that I deal here every day at home, there will be no difference. Best contacts and mind opening. Yeah, absolutely, Christoph. Thank you very much for adding. So as you can see, guys, the more we read this, the more we realize that there is no such a thing like a universal advice or the top advice that you have to follow, or see what these guys do and you can do the same and you'll be exactly the same like him. No, it doesn't work this way. You have to find your own way, and none of the advices that you can find on internet cannot guarantee that you will have the same result after that, because we are all different. Yeah, and it's not only that we are different, but sometimes we also changed. So years ago, I was believing that if you travel with another one person is the best option. I even got a video on that topic in which one I said that the best option will be to travel with just one friend. Now I think differently. So even our thoughts and everything that we know so far is just the knowledge that we have at the moment. Tomorrow it will be different. Next week or next year will be completely different. The more I travel, the more I learn, the more I realize that for some things I was wrong. And now at the moment I believe that the best option for me is to travel light alone. But it might be different next year. Richard, don't let people look down on your bike and it's the real latest, greatest kits underneath. We're all the same. What do you have to... Yeah, absolutely agree, Richard. The bike is just a tool, and just ignore any idiot that will try to behave like an idiot. And you cannot change people's mind. What you can do is just to ignore them. It's not the right idea to argue with them. It's not the right idea to destroy your trip or the way you understand the things just to argue with something. So yeah, absolutely. Christoph, people buy bikes on advice and discover during the tours that they don't match with their trips, terrains, contents and passengers. Yes, this is exactly what I said a few minutes ago, Christoph, that I can tell you that this Tenere is the best motorcycle and you can buy it based on my recommendation, and just to realize that it is not for you. It might be too heavy, too tall, too narrow, whatever. That's why you shouldn't listen anyone. If you like a specific model or a few models, at least for you guys in Western world, you can go to the shop, make a test ride and see how you feel with it. And if you feel alright, just go and buy it. Don't listen anyone. Another one example that I can give you now is when this Aprilia Touareg came into the market. Everyone was talking, man, this is wonderful. Tenere killer with a lot of features and fantastic suspension and this and this and this and that. Wow, 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 wow. Stop it. So eventually a French guy came here into Varna and he allowed me to test his motorcycle. He's a Aprilia Touareg. He let me this motorcycle to ride for a couple of hours. And I rode it, and it was, for me, I did not like it at all. I even have a video on that review, and I said everything that I was thinking. I did not like it at all. I was riding this motorcycle, I said, what the fuck is this? How the people will say that this is Tenere killer? It was not good at all for me. It might be the best for the rest of the world. I don't like it at all. At all. So no chance that I will ever swap my Tenere for this Aprilia Touareg. Just because it has 10 horsepower more, or feel lighter, or it has 2 centimeters more suspension travel, or it has some preload features. No way. It's completely different motorcycle, and end of the story. That's why recommendation or reviews from here and there are always wrong. Okay, Christoph, Hayabusas for camping tips, Harley for curvy Alps, adventure bikes for race tracks. Yeah. If you have these 3 options, Christoph, you're a lucky man. I personally believe that for me, at that point, it's best to have just one motorcycle, because if I have 2 or 3, they will stay at home. In your situation, you have one very fast bike, Hayabusa, for camping trips, okay. You have Harley Davidson for curvy Alps, or maybe to go for the coffee, and you have adventure bike for racetrack. All wrong. Adventure bike for racetrack? Whatever. Alright guys, if you want to add something else, please do it so. If not, I'm gonna give you a few more minutes and I'm gonna end this stream here. Christoph. Okay, understood what you mean now. All these bikes are wrong. Yeah, absolutely wrong. Yeah. The best adventure bike is the one that you have in the garage. This is what I mean. Next week, guys, next Sunday, we're gonna have a live stream again. I don't know the topic yet. Might be Q&A. I don't know. We'll see. But now I would like to say thank you very much for coming here. Thank you very much for support my channel first. Thank you very much for coming always on these streams. Thank you very much for adding all of this valuable information for everyone who is going to watch the streams after that. You don't own this. Thank you very much for you, Augie, as well. Alright, guys. No more questions. I'm gonna end it here. See you next week.